spending, because Oregon can't afford another senator who trades favors for campaign cash. The only candidate in this primary who's refused to take congressional pay raises. The only Democratic candidate 4 term limits and a balanced budget. Some candidates want to join the club. Peter DeFazio wants to shake it up.
Mike Donahue, News Center 6.
What would happen to him if he talked to me now about those documents?
He very well could go to jail for 6 months.
Say this again?
There is presently pending a motion by Brown and Williamson to hold Merrill in criminal contempt. And even under that circumstance, I'm still not allowed to talk to my client.
Unbelievable as it may seem, a Louisville, Kentucky judge has forbidden this lawyer from talking to his own client about the documents in a case in which he's defending him. Documents that reveal military secrets? No, he can't talk to him about documents revealing tobacco secrets. And to some people in Kentucky, that's worse than revealing military secrets.
Hit it.
Hello and welcome to Car Talk on National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers.
Tom and Ray Magliazzi are unlikely stars even in the eccentric world of public radio. Their Boston-based broadcast is the staple of 362 stations around the country.
Hello, you're on Car Talk.
This is Gordy from Endicott, New York.
Gordy.
And every month, some 30,000 listeners call their NPR 800 number trying to tap their automotive expertise.
It looks for all the world like a Connecticut prep school, but what it really is a school for the retarded.
Billy walked in there. Billy could see, Billy could hear, Billy could walk.
Today, 36-year-old Billy McCoy is blind, deaf, can't speak, and can't sit up by himself. And his older brother, 39-year-old Leo Jr., can no longer walk without assistance.
It was a case of gross medical neglect.
And it wasn't the only case at Southbury. The Justice Department found problems they called a catalog of horrors.
I'm Mike Wallace.
I'm Morley Safer.
I'm Ed Bradley.
I'm Steve Croft.
I'm Leslie Stahl. Those stories and Andy Rooney tonight on 60 Minutes.
If you were to take every honor, every award, everything positive that's been said about the Toyota Camry, and lay them end to end, you'd probably ask yourself, why did I do that? Better to drive one yourself and come up with a few accolades of your own. The 1996 Camry, the gold standard from Toyota.
Were things any easier for him? Was providing for a family simpler back then? Now there's so much information, decisions are tougher. Strange. I grew up not wanting to walk in his footsteps. Now I only wish I could.
Things are more complex. Ask a Merrill Lynch financial consultant who can help with a plan and more ways to make the plan work than anyone else. The difference is planning. The difference is Merrill Lynch.
Oh, not now. It's 1 in the morning. My brain's fried.
Just give me your CD drive.
Give it a rest, will ya?
The Compact LTE 5000. Has it changed your life yet?
Can McDonald's Chicken McNuggets make you feel like a kid again? Can they give you a thrill? Yes, with McDonald's 2 for $2. 2 tempting 6-piece Chicken McNuggets or 2 McChicken sandwiches for just $2.
Thousands of documents from inside the tobacco industry have surfaced over the past year. Documents that appear to confirm what a former U.S. Surgeon General and the current head of the Food and Drug Administration have been saying, that the nicotine in tobacco is addictive and that smoking does in fact contribute to the deaths of over 400,000 Americans every year. Nonetheless, the tobacco companies insist these documents are incomplete and that they are being leaked by people who want to tell just one side of the story. The tobacco companies maintain that nicotine is not addictive and that while smoking may be, in their words, a risk factor, there is no scientific proof that their products cause diseases like cancer. We learned of a tobacco insider who might know the whole story, who could tell us whether or not the tobacco industry has been leveling with the public. That insider was formerly a highly placed executive with a tobacco company, but we cannot broadcast what critical information about tobacco, addiction, and public health he might be able to offer. Why? Because he had to sign a confidentiality agreement with the tobacco company he worked for, an agreement that prohibits him from talking about anything he learned while he was employed by them. It even says that, quote, all information acquired by you, including this agreement, cannot be divulged. The management of CBS has told us that knowing he had that agreement, if we were to broadcast an interview with him, CBS could be faced with a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit. The fact is, we're not allowed even to mention his name or the name of the company he worked for, and of course, we cannot show you his face. Is your confidentiality agreement with still in force?
Yes, it is.
So that what are they going to do, sue you for making this appearance?
I would bet on it.
The former executive has reason to bet on being sued, for major cigarette manufacturers have an impressive track record in court. They have defeated virtually everyone who has sued them over the health effects of tobacco. And they have used the courts, some would say, to intimidate the media and others from reporting on the health effects of tobacco use.
Tonight, a day one investigation that could completely transform the tobacco industry.
One ingredient contained in these tobacco leaves is known: nicotine. The 1988 Surgeon General's report identified nicotine as a highly addictive drug and said this is why smoking can be as difficult to quit as heroin or cocaine.
News organizations got the message when Philip Morris and R.J. Reynolds brought a lawsuit in a Richmond, Virginia court against ABC News. That lawsuit demanded over $10 billion in damages. Murray Bring is the general counsel of Philip Morris.
Philip Morris filed a $10 billion lawsuit against the American broadcasting companies and several ABC employees for false and defamatory statements made on ABC's Day One news show and other news programs.
ABC had alleged that the tobacco companies spiked the nicotine levels in their cigarettes, implying they added nicotine to their products from outside sources. And ABC settled the case, apologizing for using that word.
ABC News agrees that we should not have reported that Philip Morris and Reynolds add significant amounts of nicotine from outside sources. That was a mistake that was not deliberate on the part of ABC, but for which we accept responsibility and which requires correction. We apologize to our audience, Philip Morris and Reynolds.
ABC also agreed to pay for the legal fees incurred by Philip Morris and R.J. Reynolds, reportedly over $15 million. And Philip Morris advertised the ABC apology in newspapers around the country. Nonetheless, ABC News, in its apology, continued to maintain that the tobacco companies, quote, control the levels of nicotine in cigarettes in order to keep people smoking, close quote. Many in the media and the legal community thought that ABC had a very strong defense, but that the fear of losing a multi-billion-dollar judgment in a state where tobacco was a major employer apparently was enough for ABC's top management to settle out of court. The hardball tactics of the cigarette industry are understandable given the increasing pressure against smoking and smokers. The companies are fighting for their economic lives, and their tactics sometimes result in some bizarre situations. Take the case of this man, Merrill Williams. Williams worked as a paralegal in Louisville, Kentucky, in a firm that represented the Brown & Williamson Tobacco Company. Williams walked off with 4,000 pages of Brown & Williamson files, including some of their most revealing top-secret documents. Brown & Williamson went into a Kentucky court to put a gag order on Williams that prevented him from talking to anyone, including this man, his own attorney, Fox DeMoisey, about those documents. Do you want to tell me anything, Mr. Williams, about these documents?
He cannot. He's prohibited from making any public statement about the documents or his employment, anything he learned during his employment, or anything he learned as a result of what he learned from the employment.
What would happen to him if he talked to me now about those documents?
He very well could go to jail for 6 months.
Say this again?
There is presently pending a motion by Brown & Williamson to hold Merrill in criminal contempt. And even under that circumstance, I'm still not allowed to talk to my client, even though there's now asserted criminal charges.
I don't understand. You're not allowed to talk to your client. You're sitting with your client right now. And you're not permitted, despite the fact that you represent him.
Oh, I can ask him about the Reds and what he thought of the World Series and things like that. And
But you cannot.
About the guts of the case, the documents, what did you do, why did you do it? It's been our position that Jeffrey Dahmer killed and ate people. And he
Killed and ate people.
Right.
The serial killer.
Correct. And he had counsel, complete access. Aldrich Ames had sold our country's national security secrets. He had counsel. The lesson to be learned here is that, you can kill and eat people, you can sell national security stuff, and you're entitled to counsel. But if you take Brown and Williamson's documents, your rights are suspended.
Copies of the documents that Merrill Williams took, along with others from inside the tobacco industry, were leaked and were then made public in the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Journal of the American Medical Association, as well as on the Internet. Nonetheless, Merrill Williams still cannot talk about them. But Professor Stanton Glantz, who says he got copies of the documents from an anonymous source, can talk about them. Dr. Glantz is a professor at the University of California Medical School in San Francisco. Professor Glantz, who is not constrained by a confidentiality agreement or a gag order, led a team of scientists in analyzing the Brown and Williamson documents, and that analysis was published in the AMA Journal. Documents which, without saying so outright, seem to confirm that the tobacco companies themselves were well aware of the potentially harmful effects of smoking.
What is the story that the documents told you?
Well, they told me several things. First of all, they told me that 30 years ago, Brown and Williamson and British American Tobacco, its parent, knew nicotine was an addictive drug and acted on that knowledge. They knew smoking caused cancer and other diseases, and they acted on that knowledge.
What do you mean they acted on that knowledge?
They undertook very sophisticated research initially, internally, to try to reduce the level of cancer-causing agents in the cigarette smoke and to make the cigarettes safer. And they also developed very sophisticated legal strategies to keep this information away from the public, to keep this information away from public health authorities.
What kind of sophisticated legal strategies?
They routed the sensitive materials through the legal department so they could then claim they were covered by attorney-client privilege and refused to produce them to the courts and to public authorities.
Dr. Glantz, an anti-tobacco activist, put copies of the 4,000 pages from Brown and Williamson, together with thousands of other pages obtained by the Congress, onto the shelves of the university library. But the University of California was then sued by Brown and Williamson, demanding that the university remove those documents from the library. But Brown and Williamson was unsuccessful. Dr. Glantz told us that the documents from Brown and Williamson raise yet another critical issue, the additives, the flavorings, and other compounds the tobacco companies put in their products.
When you put additives in the cigarettes, you then burn them, and in the process of burning them, they change.
And Dr. Glantz gave us a stunning example.
For a while, they were using Freon, the thing they used to use in refrigerators, as a way of puffing up the tobacco, of what they called expanding it, so to make it so it didn't weigh as much. Turns out when you burn Freon, you get phosgene, which is nerve gas.
And it appears from the documents, says Professor Glantz, that Brown and Williamson was concerned about the scientific theory that the small amounts of phosgene in cigarette smoke could possibly pose a health risk to smokers.
But at least over the period of time covered by the documents, even despite that, they continued using the Freon process.
To this day?
I don't know.
And as the Wall Street Journal reported last month, tobacco companies use ammonia as an impact booster for the nicotine in cigarettes. Dr. Glantz says that according to documents from inside Brown and Williamson, the company is in the business of selling nicotine, in effect producing a nicotine delivery device.
In the documents, they say that over and over and over again.
Am I taking this too seriously? I mean, it's like sticking something in your arm.
Well, it is, except inhaling it gets it to your brain faster than sticking it in with a needle. And that's why smoking something is the most addicting way to use a drug. That's why crack cocaine is more addictive than snorted or injected cocaine.
Because that gets to your
brain faster. It goes to your lungs, it's absorbed very fast, and within a few seconds it gets to your brain. If you inject it with a needle, you don't get the hard hit that you get when you smoke it.
Dr. Stanton Glance's articles in the AMA Journal appear to have had interesting results. In Congress, where the tobacco industry has a lot of clout, in this year's budget for the National Cancer Institute, the House of Representatives took unprecedented action, eliminating just one grant, Dr. Glance's. Scientists from around the country have protested so far to no avail.
One of the reasons...
The power of the tobacco industry to keep its documents secret was demonstrated last July by Congressman Henry Waxman of California, who read from Philip Morris documents on the floor of the House, explaining he could only read them there because he had immunity from being sued for anything he said on the floor of Congress. Meanwhile, there is a federal investigation in New York and Washington about whether these men, who at the time headed the country's major tobacco companies, whether any of these men lied to Congress when they testified about whether or not the nicotine in their tobacco products was addictive.
I believe nicotine is not addictive, yes.
Mr. Johnston.
Congressman, cigarettes and nicotine clearly do not meet the classic definitions of addiction. There is no intoxication.
We'll take that as a no.
I don't believe that nicotine or our products are addictive.
I believe nicotine is not addictive.
I believe that nicotine is not addictive.
I believe that nicotine is not addictive.
And I, too, believe that nicotine is not addictive.
As we said at the beginning, the tobacco companies maintain the leaked documents we told you about do not tell the whole story, so we invited the tobacco companies, including Lorillard, the company owned by the same company that owns CBS, to tell us the whole story. They declined. As we also said, we wanted to publish an interview with a former high-ranking tobacco executive who might be able to tell us what the companies wouldn't tell us. But CBS management told us we couldn't do that. Why? Because the insider had signed that confidentiality agreement, and because we knew about it, the cigarette company that he worked for could sue us for, they would claim, inducing him to break that agreement. And the potential liability to CBS as a result could reach into the billions of dollars. All of this, of course, speaks to a disturbing reality, that news organizations can be sued not for the truth or falsity of what they report, but instead just for seeking out information from insiders who have material important to the public health and welfare, but who have signed confidentiality agreements. I'll have a personal note about all this later in the broadcast.
Tonight, the residents of Covington Point will consume 542,000 watt-hours of energy, all generously supplied by a highly efficient new power plant. The incredibly smooth 260 horsepower 1996 LS400. Unthinkable, except by Lexus.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, diamond tennis bracelet.
Does it come with lessons?
Yeah, lift bracelet and insert arm.
I can do that.
You know, it's on sale for $139.99.
Look at the diamonds.
A whole carat's worth? The gold's included.
Kmart, who knew?
I know.
You never said anything.
You never asked.
What else are you not telling me?
Tons of stuff.
Like what?
That thing.
Last year?
Save $160 on this 1-carat diamond tennis bracelet this week at today's Kmart.
It wasn't much of a gift shop. It wasn't much of a fire. It was pretty much everything to Joe and Linda. It was gone pretty fast. A small, bright dot in the night sky, then nothing. And by now someone may be watching this and saying, not unkindly, but still saying it, who cares? So we just wanted to say, well, there's Joe, there's Linda, and there's us. Cigna, a business of caring.
Tonight, a woman's courageous journey
I'm here to find my husband.
joins a lawman on his final mission
16 men killed in 4 robberies. That indicates killing.
for a showdown in the final chapter of the Lonesome Dove saga. James Garner and Sissy Spacek in Larry McMurtry's Streets of Laredo begins tonight. Contains some violent scenes.
We are taking our show on the road.
All week we'll be live from Texas.
With the biggest newsmakers, celebrities, music, and more.
Beginning tomorrow on the new CBS This Morning.
Think of National Public Radio and the sounds of Beethoven or Bach or Brahms may come to mind. But strangely enough, the network's top performers are not those venerable gentlemen, but are a couple of grease monkeys from Boston. Every weekend, Tom and Ray Magliozzi, who bill themselves as Click and Clack, the Tappet brothers, take to the airwaves and hold forth on the imprecise art of automotive repair. But what's turned Tom and Ray into a cult hit over their 18 years on the air isn't just the mechanical information. It's their take on how cars affect American lives and loves and values.
Hit it.
Hello and welcome to Car Talk on National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappet brothers.
Tom and Ray Magliozzi are unlikely stars even in the eccentric world of public radio. Their Boston-based broadcast is the staple of 362 stations around the country.
Hello, you're on Car Talk.
This is Gordy from Endicott, New York.
Gordy.
And every month, some 30,000 listeners call their NPR 800 number trying to tap their automotive expertise.
So what's up, Gordy? The brakes, since the time I bought the car, have been kind of soft. I took it over and had it looked at, and to the tune of $700.
Now, you said they $700. I'm curious to know what they did for $700, because maybe we can change our pricing structure in the garage.
They seem to defame their profession and at least one of the major automakers on every broadcast. And maybe that's one reason why they're on non-commercial public radio.
Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi. I have a new Ford Aspire.
Boy, I mean, you talk about a dumb name.
Well, it aspires to be something better, yes.
Exactly. I mean, why would you name a car? I mean, what were they thinking? What did they think we were going to think?
Well, they had narrowed it down to two choices. It was either Aspire or Expire.
The brothers' mixture of consumer advice and mechanical mayhem even appeals to pedestrians who can't tell a carburetor from a camshaft. A lot of their listeners don't even own cars. The topics range from fuel injectors to backseat romance, and they seem the masters of both. The brothers once helped a listener write a classified ad to sell a car she didn't own to attract the kind of man she wanted to meet.
For someone who's never heard you, how would you describe the show?
It's a little bit about cars. And the rest is who knows.
If the Maglianzis aren't your average radio announcers, they're not your average grease monkeys either. After all, it's not every day that you find a couple of mechanics with degrees from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
So how did a couple of MIT graduates end up in the auto repair business?
We thought we were going to make $1 million.
The fact is, they couldn't even afford to advertise, so they volunteered to appear on a public radio show as a way to get some free publicity. Their brotherly bickering and Groucho goes to the garage routines have been going on ever since.
When did you realize that this radio show was a going proposition? I mean, how did it evolve?
When they offered us money to do it.
We were doing it for nothing. We did it for years for nothing. And one day we decided to ask them for $20 a piece a week. And, I mean, we agonized over this, but, well, they'll never give us $20 a week. And they gave us $20 a week, and we said, we're in the fat city.
And this was after how many years?
About 5, I think. See how stupid we are. And then the next year, you know, buoyed by the success, we went in and asked for a $5 a week raise. And we were refused.
That's each.
Today, the Magliozzi automobile empire operates from offices high above Harvard Square. Besides the radio show, they've written a book, and there's a twice-weekly newspaper column. All of it run out of their fictional law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
See, if you've been doing this almost 20 years, 18 years, I mean, has it evolved? Has it changed?
Oh, it's changed a lot. I mean, when we first started, we didn't know what we were doing. Actually, we don't know what we're doing.
What has changed is the people who call us. There were lots of people who used to work on their own cars. So the people who called us in those days were people who were like out in the driveway. I'm adjusting the valves on my 63 Dodge Dynamo. Should I do it hot or cold? And what's the clearance on the intake valve?
But life has changed a lot over the last 2 decades, and those kinds of calls have all but disappeared. Most people don't work on their own cars anymore. They're just too complicated. About the only things that haven't changed, they say, are the doors and windows.
The glass hasn't changed
Actually,
much.
rear-view mirrors are now high-tech. You used to be able to just reach out and move the mirror, but now you got to find a button and press all that. So
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, everything is changing.
So even if you want to fix things now, you can't even find the thing to fix. You need a computer to tell you where it is. Sad, isn't it?
People used to talk about Americans' love affair with their automobiles. Is that love affair still going on? Is it changed at all?
Gee, I don't think there's much to be in love with anymore.
What a thrill to take the wheel of a rocket Oldsmobile.
The Malyansis missed the romance that once came as standard equipment on American automobiles.
I remember when I was a kid, you could identify every single car. I mean, a car would drive on the street, there's a 56 Ford, there's a 59 Chevy. I work on cars every day, and I can't tell them apart. I mean, I don't know what is this thing we're leaning on here.
It's a 63 Dodge Dart.
It's an 87 Jelly Bean. I mean, they all look the same.
Look around your neighborhood. How often do you see someone out there polishing his car? I mean, hardly ever. I mean, when people were in love with their cars, they caressed them all the time. And now you can hardly get anyone to vacuum the car. No one cares.
Is that because they all look the same?
Maybe. I mean, there's no individuality anymore.
What's changed? Have the cars changed or have we changed? I mean, the fact that we're not out there polishing.
How should we know? We're a couple of grease monkeys.
Go ask God, if you guys had to restrict your conversations to things you knew about.
That'd be the end
We've
of
been
it.
off the air 15 years ago.
If you accept the notion that cars are a reflection of the people who drive them, what might you ask do the Malyansis drive?
Get this now.
An 87 Dodge Colt Vista. When I saw that brown 87 Colt Vista.
With the smoke pouring out the tailpipe. He said, that baby's for me.
What are you driving?
63 Dodge Dart convertible. Black.
None of his family members will ride in the car. The only one that will ride with him is the dog. And he has to tie a pork chop around his neck to get the dog to get into the car with him.
While Ray still runs the garage, older brother Tom teaches marketing and runs a consulting business. Although he test drives all the sleekest new models, he says he'd rather drive his $2,000 Dart.
A 500 SL Mercedes, it costs you $92,000. Now, can that possibly be $90,000 better than this? This is good enough.
I have to say, this car rides really well.
Sure, it's good enough.
Doesn't seem to be burning any oil.
Doesn't burn on any oil. Not a drop.
He doesn't keep any in it.
I don't use oil.
You talk about this car like it's a family member, is it?
Oh, it's a friend. I would say a close friend.
It's like the black sheep of the family.
The Tappet brothers don't believe in buying new cars. A waste of money, they say.
I mean, this is thinking that only Americans could come up with, that it's cheaper to buy a $25,000 car than it is to buy a $5,000 car. I mean, someone said to me the other day, I have a car, it's 3 years old, and it's worth about $15,000, and I think I should trade it in now while it's still worth something. I mean, what kind of logic is this? If it's still worth something, keep driving it. I mean, why should you trade it in? Accountants start talking about things like depreciation. Who cares about depreciation? You get a car, it runs, you like it, you drive it forever.
What the brothers don't like are obnoxious drivers. Young women in Camaros are a favorite target. They're too aggressive, they say, and almost all of them, it seems, are named Donna. Then there's BMW drivers.
BMW drivers are classic BMW drivers. I mean, they're all the same.
Why?
That's it. Oh, because they're animals. They're always in a hurry. They always have to, I mean, they drive on the sidewalk. They'll do anything to get ahead. I mean, they're like, bring me to Wall Street, zip me ahead. I just want to be in front of everybody. I don't care who the hell is in my way. Boom! I don't think there's any other profile that matches as well with the car and the driver as BMW.
Well, Cadillac had the guys with the white belts and the white shoes. That was...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have to sit like this when they drive.
I think they're one of our sponsors. Go ahead.
Now you know why we're not on television.
What about four-wheel drive cars? Why this explosion? What?
It's all testosterone poisoning.
What do you mean?
Four-wheel drives are kind of macho, and it gives you that feeling of invulnerability that no matter what happens weather-wise, no matter how much it snows or how bad the mudslides are, you can go out in your four-wheel drive, even if you have no place to go.
It's not just weather, though. I mean, if there's traffic, you drive right over it. They think they can do this. They're nuts.
Twinkies, great.
They prepare their broadcast, if you can call it that, by loading up on junk food. There's no script, as if we had to tell you. One critic compared car talk to listening to a couple of teenagers fooling around on the high school public address system. The brothers have suggested that lightweight Ford Festivas ought to come equipped with a funeral wreath. And they explain that the reason Dodge Caravans with a small 4-cylinder engine have 7 seats is that so 6 passengers can help push the driver up hills. All this has made the brothers a Boston institution. Last year, they filled Symphony Hall for a benefit performance.
What struck me was you always think about people study for decades to make it to Symphony Hall. And you say, how the hell do you get to Symphony Hall? We found out. You pay them $2,000 and you can do any damn thing you want.
Hi, sister.
You have a question? All right, I'll keep it clean. It's a family show.
The car I use is very important to me.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering what I should be doing now to ensure that I'll meet it in heaven. And who better to ask than you two?
What kind of a car is it?
1991 Tercel, a beautiful blue.
I'm tempted to tell the little joke that my father told me last night. He'll be embarrassed, but he did tell me. A soul.
Oh, you can't tell this. No.
I can't?
No.
Are you sure?
No. Sister, you must change your oil every 3,000 miles.
Changing your oil is just one of the list of things the brothers like to remind their listeners. Other wise words: pick the garage with the lowest overhead. Never buy a model during its first year of production. And never, ever buy a French car unless you live in France.
Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, how are you guys today?
Great, who's this?
I'm Donna. I'm calling from Baltimore.
Donna, problems with the Camaro, huh?
Most people don't have a great opinion of people who run auto shops and garages.
That's true.
They're right up there with politicians and journalists. How do you know if you've got a good mechanic?
By the size of his boat.
The enemy of international commerce used to be distance. Today, it's time. You can no more wait for an urgent shipment from Taipei than from Chicago.
I need those samples.
So only UPS now guarantees overnight delivery by 8 a.m. from business capitals worldwide.
They're still on the loom in Hong Kong.
And since time's your enemy,
If I can't have them first thing tomorrow, I can't use them.
at least you know who your friends are. UPS, 8 a.m. delivery from business centers worldwide.
The Mercedes E-Class, the Acura Legend, the BMW 5 Series, the Lexus LS400, the Infiniti Q45. Our luxury performance sedan outsold each of them in its first model year. Aurora by Oldsmobile. Now the imports are the ones with some catching up to do. It's your money.
Would we claim the Norelco razor shaves closer than ever, without hundreds of tests to back it up? Say our precision groove helps the Norelco lift and cut system shave closer, without proof? No. We wouldn't say it's our closest shave ever without science, sensors, tests. But of all the tests that prove it's closer, the most convincing requires a personal touch. The Norelco razor, our closest shave ever.
60 Minutes will continue.
Next, the final chapter of the Lonesome Dove saga.
Nothing that happens out here makes any sense. I never should have left my family. I never should have left them.
Critics give it a 9 out of 10.
I need to find my husband.
James Garner is hypnotic as Captain Woodrow F. Call.
He ever points a damn pistol at me, he'd better shoot.
A wonderfully entertaining TV movie.
He can kill us anytime he wants to, and he knows it.
James Garner heads an all-star cast in the final chapter of the Lonesome Dove saga. Larry McMurtry's Streets of Laredo contains violent scenes.
You're on CBS.
I'm Susan Marshall, and I live in Portland. We have families in the neighborhood. We have single women. Unfortunately, it borders Sandy Boulevard, a mecca for adult-oriented businesses or sex shops. Women and children can't walk down their neighborhood streets without being harassed. It's just wrong. I have a lot of respect for Gordon Smith. Without Gordon's help, we would not be able to fight adult businesses. He cares about people, and he cares about this issue.
How do some guys do it? They never seem to slow down. Instead of skipping meals, instead of eating junk, they've discovered new resource, the liquid nutritional food. It's not age that slows most of us down. It's usually not eating right. Delicious Resource helps guarantee you get the nutritional edge you need to be your best every day. Improve your diet, improve your life with new Resource, the liquid nutritional food.
New information about Yitzhak Rabin's assassination. We'll have it at 11.
It looks for all the world like a Connecticut prep school, but what it really is a school for the retarded. Founded in 1940, the Southbury Training School was for years considered to be the standard against which other institutions of that kind were compared. Today, there are 850 residents, most of them in their 40s, many of them there for most of their lives. Recently, Southbury has been under attack, charged with neglecting, dehumanizing, and abusing its residents. No doubt about it, say some parents. Not true, say others. And that has led to a fight about whether Southbury should be kept open. Indeed, whether any institutions for the retarded should be kept open. On one side, there are parents who say that for their son or daughter, there is no other alternative. On the other, parents like Esther and Leo McCoy who say there has to be something better than the kind of life their two sons have lived at Southbury for the last 30 years. Leo Jr. and Billy McCoy were born 3 years apart, both severely retarded. After 8 years of struggling to care for them at home, their parents, Esther and Leo, took their doctor's advice and put the boys in Southbury in 1965. But they continued to take them home every weekend. Before long, Esther and Leo became concerned about their son's unexplained medical problems, bruises, cuts, and bone fractures, infections left untreated. And the brothers weren't getting adequate physical therapy and exercise, important for any retarded person's health. Leo and Esther watched their sons regress.
Billy walked in there. Billy could see. Billy could hear. Billy could walk. Billy had a few words of speech. What does my Bill do today? Yeah, he's all tired out.
Today, 36-year-old Billy McCoy is blind, deaf, can't speak, and can't sit up by himself. And his older brother, 39-year-old Leo Jr., can no longer walk without assistance.
Yeah, you could do it.
Neither brother can feed himself. To look at these two men, most would assume their degeneration was simply a result of progressive retardation. But those who know them say they're in this condition because of what they didn't get at Southbury.
Let's get another one.
It was a case of gross medical neglect.
Attorney David Shaw was the McCoy's lawyer. He says when Leo Jr. went in, his spine was straight as an arrow. And today?
His spine is bent at an 80-degree angle, and his lungs and heart are being compromised as a result of it. And he's going to die from it. All those years, the x-rays were asked for. Every year, somebody looked at the x-ray and said, his spine is bending. But nobody followed up. Nobody said, we've got to do something about this.
In addition, the McCoys said that on several occasions, Leo Jr. had cuts and bruises that led them to believe he had been physically abused.
Let me ask you a difficult question. If you thought that the care was so bad for so long, why did you leave them there?
Where would we take them? Certainly the doctor told me years prior that I couldn't take care of them 7 days a week. Now you're asking me, why did I leave them? I don't think I had a choice. The only choice I had was to try to improve the place, and that was my goal.
But after years of failing to reach that goal, the McCoys sued Southbury for damages and decent care. The state of Connecticut, which is responsible for the school, chose not to go to trial and signed an unprecedented settlement ensuring Leo and Billy care for life in this private house with a rotating staff of 15 at an estimated cost to the state of $500,000 a year. Today, the house is ready, but the brothers are still living at Southbury because the state, according to the McCoys, has yet to meet all of the terms of their agreement, especially hiring qualified staff. Southbury officials told us the McCoys have been impossible to please. When we asked to speak to a representative of Southbury, the state referred us to Peter O'Meara, Connecticut's new commissioner of the Department of Mental Retardation, who does concede there was neglect in the McCoy case and says the state is trying to compensate the family.
My sense is that we're, making a very concerted effort to work with them and with the men to make sure that they have a very appropriate program and living arrangement.
And making that concerted effort because mistakes were made, they were abused, they were neglected?
I would presume that was that occurred.
Do you think then that the McCoys did suffer?
I would have to assume that was the case.
And it wasn't the only case at Southbury. The Justice Department found problems 10 years ago, and the state signed a legal agreement to make improvements. But last spring, the Justice Department filed contempt proceedings against Connecticut after recent inspections found the care at Southbury so dangerous as to be life-threatening. They said residents had suffered untimely and unnecessary deaths, dangerous delays in medical care, deficient feeding practices that could be life-threatening, needless physical degeneration and deformities, and examples of neglect they called a catalog of horrors.
Is the Justice Department wrong?
I think they're not totally wrong. I think there are certainly things there that need to be addressed and corrected.
It doesn't sound to me as if you have a strong defense of Southbury.
Well, I think in those specific instances where there was something that was inappropriate, clearly there is no defense. But I think if you kind of look at Southbury, maybe in a broader context, I think there are other good things that are happening there.
If the state isn't offering a rousing defense of Southbury, many of the parents and family members of longtime Southbury residents are.
I thank God every night there's a Southbury.
They are part of a 700-member national organization which is trying to keep institutions like Southbury open.
Why do you feel so strongly about it?
Because of the dedication and love of the employees there, of the doctors and the nurses. I could not afford to buy that love.
My brother's been there 39 years. He has never been abused, never been neglected.
There have been tragedies at Southbury. Nobody could deny it. On the other hand, by and large, medical care is good, and you do the best you can to avoid the tragedies.
Despite the family's defense of Southbury, attorney David Shaw has filed a class action suit on behalf of all its residents. He thinks it's common for parents to defend the institution because many don't want to reconsider a decision they made so many years ago.
Parents in these places tend to block out even obvious problems because of various factors. One is that the parent has made a decision many years ago to place their child in this place. In some situations, they feel guilty about it. In some cases, they're afraid of the unknown. And parents oftentimes have a very distorted view of what's actually going on with their sons and daughters.
You made a decision with the advice of medical professionals to put your brother, your child, in Southbury because it was best for you, best for that child. And there are people who think that, well, it's difficult to say so many years later, my God, I made a mistake. No way.
I would never say I made a mistake on my son. I know he's getting the best of care. I knew I couldn't handle him at home because of the seizures. Sometimes he has 5 seizures a day. And I know somebody is constantly there to watch him.
We're concerned about what happens when we're gone. That's what we're concerned about. That's why we want Southbury to be here when we're gone.
Sociologist Dr. James Conroy understands why these parents are worried. He spent 25 years studying care for the retarded.
Families feel threatened. They're, in fact, terrified that if Southbury were to close, then what? What's the alternative? And there's the belief that the alternative is not going to be as good.
And what is the alternative? Advocates for the retarded say they belong in the community, not just because they say conditions at Southbury are harmful, but also because they believe institutions deny the retarded a decent quality of life. It's part of a national movement in the last decade to shut down institutions and integrate the retarded, to the extent they can be, into American society.
When you take a person and separate them from society and separate them from a normal rhythm, I'm not sure that you can call that living. Those people at Southbury rarely leave the place, and they don't participate in community life the way any other free citizen would participate.
Like former Southbury resident Kathy Juni. She now works at this supermarket and lives in her own apartment with people nearby who check up on her and provide help.
How important is your job to you?
Very. If anybody told me I was going back to Southbury Training School, I would fight them, Ed. I would totally fight them.
Juni left Southbury in 1979 when her parents granted their permission. She'd been a resident for 10 years.
The doctor said that they had to put me with because I was disabled. And that word they used was retarded.
The doctor said that you were retarded. Are you?
I don't think I'm retarded.
What are you?
I'm slow. But nobody's perfect.
What do you have now that you didn't have at Southbury?
Freedom. How many used to live in Southbury?
Juni is president of People First of Connecticut, an advocacy group whose members include former residents of Southbury who are trying to help others move out, even when their families want them to stay.
I went there when I was 14 years old, so that would be 1944. Hallelujah. And I am out on placement, and I live at 40 Williams Street, and I like it so much, and it seems so good to be out of there.
I'm here to let you know how I feel. I'd like to see that place closed and shut down now. Yes, yes.
But if places like Southbury were shut down, what would happen to the severely retarded, those who can't live on their own? For them, there are state-supported group homes, like this one in suburban Connecticut.
Would you like a cup of coffee? Good sign-in, Mark.
The 6 men who live here can't speak and need round-the-clock care. But even so, it usually costs the state less to place even a severely retarded person in a home like this than in a large institution like Southbury. And these homes have more staff and offer more interaction with people in the neighborhood.
Good job.
Dr. Conroy has tracked thousands all over the country who have made the transition into community homes.
People who moved out benefited in almost every way we know how to measure.
Severely retarded?
Profoundly retarded. Beyond severe. People who do not speak, cannot dress themselves, do not toilet independently. Those people, shockingly enough, tend to do quite well.
And Dr. Conroy found that most of the parents who had been adamantly opposed to the move changed their minds.
But it's still not persuasive to the families of people who are still in the institutions. You're still not going to be a parent who says, well, they changed their mind. I guess I probably will too.
Sally Bondi is a case in point.
How normal a life can you have if you have a 50-year-old body and a 6-month or 18-month mind? My feeling is that when Stevie can tell me if something goes wrong and can speak clearly enough for a stranger to understand him, then I will consider placement in the community, but not before.
And the parents cited a study which found more reports of abuse in group homes than at Southbury. David Shaw says that's because abuse in institutions often goes unreported.
Abuse isn't going to go away, nor is neglect necessarily going to go away because a person has moved into the community. What does happen, I think, is because so many people come and go, because parents are so much in and out of these places, and because neighbors are in and out of these places, that abuse is much less likely to happen.
The common ground between the two sides of this difficult situation hasn't been found yet. We have now the parents who are defending, in a way, a facility, bricks and mortar on a piece of land. And the other side is saying, I can't live until that place is closed. We're polarized. There must be a common ground. The common ground has got to be the people and the quality of their lives.
I signed another customer today.
Oh, yeah? That's great.
Honey, do I detect a little jealousy?
Why? Just because you have a fantastic job with Warsaw Insurance.
Sweetie, being a globe-hopping rock star isn't such a bad job either.
It's just not as fulfilling as business insurance, now is it?
Well, at least you've got your fans.
Yeah.
Unless they're here for me.
We're the business insurance experts from Wausau.
Anybody can service automobiles, but you're going to be able to take care of the customer. You can describe the legend, you can
over bumps, or do you?
Definitely over a bump, I think.
They come in to see me because they need something to be fixed. They want me to take care of them. Everybody has different problems. Everybody has different needs.
See the way I was going this? Move it back.
The quality care standards. It just opens up that communication, lets people know that we care.
Quality care people, quality care standards at your Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealer.
A company most people never heard of is changing the way we fight cancer and kidney failure. By inducing the body to produce blood cells, chemotherapy and anemia patients are gaining new strength. Helping to grow blood cells helped Amgen become the world's largest independent biotech company. Where do you find companies with such pioneering spirit? Actually, there's a list of them printed every day. NASDAQ, the stock market for the next 100 years.
You know, I made a decision today.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going back to the office.
Great.
Relax. I didn't say I wasn't going back to work.
The Compact Presario. Has it changed your life yet?
Fibercon or Metamucil? Both give you the same predictable regularity, the same natural action of fiber. So what makes Fibercon different? With Fibercon, I get my fiber in 2 caplets. Fibercon, fiber regularity that's easier to take.
If you're wondering if Andy got any reaction to that $1 million offer of his a couple of weeks back, he sure did.
I get a big reaction from my offer of $1 million to anyone who comes up with the murderer of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. To answer your question, I haven't had to pay yet. I hope it was obvious that if I thought I'd have to come up with the money, I wouldn't have offered it. Lots of names and theories, though. All the nuts wrote me. I was surprised at the money people sent to add to the reward. Look at the cash. Mostly small bills, but a lot of them. I like this $10 bill because it was sent anonymously, so I can't send it back. And checks. Lots of checks made out to me. The biggest one was for $10,000. This pile is all pledges. This fellow offers $1 million and says he can get his friend Ross Perot to come up with another $1 million. Here's one pledges $500,000. And he sent me his financial statement to prove he has the money. Got more than $3 million in this account. Several people asked my son Brian if I really had $1 million. Brian answered them.
Oh, I've seen more money than that fall out of his pocket when he takes a nap on the couch.
Someone suggested I offer Simpson $1 million to take a lie detector test. He refused during the trial because he said he once dreamed of murdering Nicole and he was afraid that would show up on the polygraph. A woman wrote and said, okay then, offer him the $1 million to answer this question. Did you murder Ronald Goldman? There were a lot of I'm never going to watch 60 Minutes again letters. I was accused of being racist, and some of those got to me. It's obvious I did something wrong. They wanted to know who I was to speak for black Americans, and they have a point. 8 people wrote saying they were black, thought O.J. did it, and were glad he wasn't convicted. O.J. was a white man's hero, one letter said. Now that you think he's a murderer, you're giving him back to us. I wish I'd talked to that guy before I wrote the piece. I also said the acquittal is the worst thing that's happened to race relations in 40 years. And it's worse for black Americans. I don't think they know that. Someone who wrote said that was a threat. I'm sorry I didn't realize it would sound like a threat. I was thinking of affirmative action and a white backlash from the kind of racists they accused me of being. People ask why I didn't say anything about the Rodney King jury in 1992. I guess they weren't watching when I said this. If I had to pick one of the saddest days for my country, I'd pick the day the jury came in with a not guilty verdict for the cops who beat Rodney King. Most of us have opinions about race that are not evil, but we don't talk about them. We can't help ourselves from thinking that races are different and have varying degrees of competence doing different things. The one thing we can control is our insistence that we judge everyone as an individual, not as a member of a race. I don't think a black man murdered Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. I think O.J. Simpson did.
I'll be back in a moment with a personal note.
Love is just around the corner, and a cozy little corner. Love is just around the corner when I'm around you. Love is just around the corner when I'm around you.
Travis Carver. Chris Chaffin. Debbie Chin. Kelly Klein. David Cole. Susan Conklin.
Some run, some swim, some jump. But only one Olympic team will lift, pack, and ship their way to Atlanta from around the world. From athletic equipment to telecommunications equipment that will help bring the games to the world. If they're here, chances are the company that guarantees delivery from around the globe got them here. Excepting those who made it entirely on their own. UPS, worldwide Olympic sponsor.
Teenagers hanging out, just something you have to live with, right? Well, not in this town.
You have to do something about the kids hanging out on the street. You have to.
But wait till you hear what the grown-ups did about it.
The town allowed this to happen to these kids, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
The Town Fathers versus the teens. Did they go too far? Eye on America Monday on the CBS Evening News.
An urgent new warning.
By raising a fat kid, you are going to produce a premature death.
What you need to know about weight on 48 Hours Thursday.
A footnote to the controversy about the tobacco piece you saw at the beginning of the hour tonight. We at 60 Minutes, and that's about 100 of us who turn out this broadcast each week, are proud of working here and at CBS News. And so we were dismayed that the management at CBS had seen fit to give in to perceived threats of legal action against us by a tobacco industry giant. We've broadcast many such investigative pieces down the years, and we want to be able to continue. We lost out, only to some degree, on this one, but we haven't the slightest doubt that we'll be able to continue the 60 Minutes tradition of reporting such pieces in the future without fear or favor. I'm Mike Wallace. We'll be back next week with another edition of 60 Minutes.
Heroes and outlaws, mothers and wives, love is the last desperado. If you don't lose your way, don't lose your way, don't lose your life on the streets of Laredo. On the streets of Laredo.
From Larry McMurtry comes the final chapter in the Lonesome Dove saga. Sam Shepard, Sissy Spacek, and James Garner. Streets of Laredo begin